Frosty frozen food. The history of frozen food. In very cold places on Earth, people have always been able to freeze food. In the Arctic, for example, during the long cold winter, temperatures rarely get above freezing and often drop as low as -50 degrees. These extremely cold temperatures make freezing food very quickly an easy and convenient way to preserve it. This means that some people, such as the Inuit from northern Canada, have been freezing food for hundreds of years, long before electric freezers were invented. For most people in the United Kingdom, however, frozen food only became familiar in the 1950s, when home freezers started becoming popular. Before then, shops didn't sell frozen food. This was because they didn't have the right technology, and food froze too slowly, causing large ice crystals to form inside. When the food thawed again, the crystals had damaged its structure, giving it a strange texture that wasn't very nice to eat, even after it had been cooked. But then, in the 1920s, an American inventor called Clarence Birdseye solved the problem of how to freeze food very quickly. His method meant that the large crystals did not form, and the food had the same taste and texture as fresh food once it was thawed and cooked. Companies began selling frozen foods such as fish, meat, peas and berries, which grew in popularity as more and more people began having their own freezers at home in the 1960s and 70s. Before there were home freezers, it was harder to preserve food at home. That's not to say it was impossible. People could preserve fruit and vegetables by making jams, pickles and chutneys. And some people would dry or smoke fish and meat. But people couldn't enjoy the taste of fresh fish or fresh garden peas unless the food really was freshly caught or harvested, which would be impossible unless food was in season. Being able to freeze food has changed that. It means that we can eat fruit and veg that isn't in season but tastes like it is. And we can eat fish that has been caught and frozen thousands of miles away, but has the same taste and texture as if it were caught locally that morning. This makes it possible to catch fish in a more sustainable way, meaning our ability to freeze food plays a big role in helping us to look after our oceans. Frozen food has become a familiar feature of the modern kitchen. Freezing allows us to preserve our leftovers, keep food for longer so that we don't need to go to the shops every day, and it also allows us to enjoy all sorts of food at all times of year. In fact, you could say that frozen food is really, really cool.